my name is Ashley Deadwyler-Jones. I'm here with my Spelman sisters, Miss Andrea Evans and Stacey Dougan. We're here to spotlight HBCUs and all the excellence that comes from our institutions. I'm your host, and Miss Andrea is your host as well. Today, we have an opportunity to interview my freshman dorm roommate, Miss Stacey, and talk about who she is, how she made her steps, how she found her way to Spelman College, and get a little bit more, information about what you're doing today, Stacey, after Spelman.
Absolutely. Let's get into it.
Who are you? What led you to Spelman College?
What led me to Spelman? So, it was interesting. In the 8th grade, I took a college tour, like a HBCU tour. Just the South. We went to Howard. We went to Hampton. We went to a few other colleges. Of course, we went to Spelman, went to Morehouse Clark. And as soon as I stepped on Spelman's campus in 8th grade, I knew that's where I was going. So Spelman was the only school I applied to. So there was no other choice. Yeah, I didn't apply to any other school. I was like, I'm going to Spelman since 8th grade. So that was it, pretty simple. And then I applied, early decision, got in, and boom, it was easy.
How did you select your major, Stacey?
How did I choose my major? It was interesting because when I started at Spelman, I thought I was going to be an attorney, so I was going to study to be an attorney, Andrea. And I decided that I didn't want to go do like 4 more years of school. And so, and then remember, we were in Atlanta during the time when Outkast album first dropped. Like, Atlanta was popping in another kind of way. So I was like, I need to get into this entertainment, industry. And me, I was a party girl. So I was always in the scene, knew where the clubs were. And so that kind of like my lifestyle at Spelman just kind of led me more towards entertainment. And so my major was sociology, but that was just because I couldn't think of any other major that would fit into the entertainment industry. I was like, I'll just do sociology, but it actually ended up working out because I was really interested in how the entertainment industry, specifically the music industry, specifically hip hop and R&B, our culture music, had an effect on society. And so, of course, now we can see like hip hop is the #1 genre in the world. So back then, I thought I knew that there was a huge correlation between what was happening in hip hop and in the social and what was happening socially in the world. And so I wanted to really hone in on that. And so like I did my thesis around hip hop and in society, and it was just really good. So I really just honed in on that, and then that's when I ended up, working in the industry. But that was my major. So it wasn't anything deep. It was just because I wanted to go into the music industry. My minor was French, and that was just because I had already spoke French, so it was just easy to get a minor in. I was doing it easy. I'm like, it wasn't hard. But yeah, Spelman was just like too much fun.
Well, look, hey, merci beaucoup. I took all those years.
That's what merci beaucoup.
Right. But you know what, Stacey? Let's step back because you're saying a lot. You have a lot to offer, and that's why we have you here today. So you, obviously, 8th grade, something was on the Spelman campus or somebody or something happened that just made the school stand out. So what was that one thing?
I don't remember because, of course, it was 8th grade, and we how old now? Y'all want to tell your age? No, I don't remember exactly what it was, but I remember the feeling, and I remember when I was on the campus, I was just like, let's seeing all those Black women and everybody just looking so good and, just all that excellence. And then this campus just being so pristine, and then just meeting some of the professors. And then I went, when they have people, when you go into the, when you're younger and you go to the college tours, they usually have somebody that kind of takes you around, tour guide. And I'm sure my tour guide was amazing because I'm telling you, when I left that place, I was like, oh, this is it. There's no other place. It was more like a feeling, just like a warmth and an energy. I knew I belonged there. We excellent Black women belong at excellent Black HBCUs. So it was that energy for real.
That's right. Stacey, tell us a little bit about what you're doing now, and how Spelman shaped you. I know you've been in entertainment, and you can kind of talk about your steps from Spelman into where you are today.
Absolutely. So that would be a long journey, and so for sake of time, I'll in brevity tell you what happened. So at Spelman, when I decided I wanted to go into the music industry, I got an internship because I learned, as you know, of course, you can get college credit for interning, and so I got an internship at Virgin Records. And so I was learning the business, but I was also, getting school credit for it. And I was at Virgin for a year. And then after that, I just kind of made my name known just being as an intern. And once you're an intern at a record label, especially in the early 90s, like we were there, it was very easy in Atlanta to just kind of maneuver because the entertainment scene was still very small. So a lot of people knew each other, and just one thing led to another. And then I ended up getting in college, then I started working at Earwax Records. Y'all remember Earwax?
Remember it.
Major record store. Yep. Shout out to Jazz. Yeah. So that was like the record store in Atlanta that was popping, and all the artists would go there. Jermaine Dupri would come, and so I met a lot of people through working at Earwax too. And so after college, I got the job at Universal Music because I was already in the industry. And usually when you get hired at a label or something, it's usually like you have to know somebody. So it really was, I had already made the connections. And of course I knew, I had my ear to the street as far as music is concerned. And so I got hired immediately actually from the label, and did that for some time, and then ended up delving into food, invested in a vegan restaurant while I was at the label, and owned a restaurant in Atlanta, a vegan raw restaurant called Everlasting Life for a few years. And then ended up moving around, went to Chicago for some time, and then I went to West Africa for a couple of years, always cooking, like I was either cooking or doing something in entertainment. I've been pretty consistent over the past 20 years. So, and then and then I came back here to Vegas about 10 years ago now, and opened up, did some things around with Whole Foods, in the beginning, and just did cooking class, and just kind of was trying to recreate a name for myself here in the city, or create a name for myself here in the city. And then was able to have the opportunity to open up Simply Pure, which is our restaurant now. And here we are, 6 years. It'll be 7 years we've been open in December. This year will be 7 years. So it's a good number, and we're feeling good. And so that's basically the journey of it all. But, there's all kinds of little stories inside of there. But for me, like when I look back on everything, I'm like, I was just like mad consistent. I was just consistent with everything, consistent with being in the music industry, consistent with being in the food industry. And that's just because I'm really passionate about the two. So if you do stuff that you're passionate about, then you'll do it forever. So there we go.
Congratulations, first of all, on 7 years. And I have to tell you all, I'm not even vegan, and when I come to Vegas, I have my standing lasagna order and my standing nacho order, and it's good. Yeah. But here's the question though, Stacey. So you've gone from sociology to music to being a chef. So when did you actually realize you could monetize that? Because like you said, if you're one of those people that's always cooking, like when did you say, this is actually what I'm going to do as a career?
That's interesting. So actually what happened was when I was at Universal, some friends of mine came to me and they wanted me to initially invest in the vegan restaurant they wanted me to invest in Everlasting Life, which is the restaurant I had in Atlanta. And so I came in more so as an entrepreneur because I was making money at the label. I didn't have any children, I was moving and shaking. I wasn't married. And so I had extra income, and I was like, yeah, I'll invest in the restaurant, because at that time I was interested in becoming more plant-based and incorporating more veganism into my diet. And so when I realized, I think that you can make money off of it was like almost immediately, because there were no other vegan. I think there was one vegan restaurant in Atlanta besides us. And people wanted vegan food. I already saw that there was a need for it. So I saw that you can make money. I think for me, it was more so like, how did you become a chef? Because cooking wasn't really my thing. It became my thing because I started working inside of Everlasting, initially trying to save my investment. I was trying to save my money. Like, I'm an entrepreneur first and then everything else second. So I was like, y'all got to get in here and figure out how to make this work, because I invested this money, And so that's how I ended up learning how to cook. I had to figure it out. And so, but when I started learning how to cook, then I was like, I realized that I was good at it. And I started getting better at it, and I realized too that there's healing power in plant-based food, and so that was one of the driving forces too, is because I saw like within our community, especially within the African American community, we just weren't eating right, and especially being in the South, and so I was like, nah, we got to do something else, and I found out you can have macaroni and cheese, it was vegan and it was healthy. I was like, oh yeah, I'm all over this. So yeah, that was really, it was like a number of things. Wanting to help the community, wanting of course to make money, just it all kind of coming together. It wasn't easy in the beginning, trust me, because my food didn't taste how it tastes now. Like the lasagna then don't taste, it ain't the same as the one you tasting now, Andrea. That was years and hours of, just like perfecting recipes and blood, sweat, and tears, literally.
Stacey, are you privy to tell us some of your most notable clients with Simply Pure? I mean, it's gone very well. I mean, I'm sure you've been able to leverage some of your relationships in the entertainment industry. But so, who are some of your big clients?
Some of our biggest clients, and I won't say they're consistent. They don't, because Vegas is, people don't really live here. Like, people come through Vegas. There's more people, I shouldn't say that now, there's a lot of people that are living here, but some of our most notable clients that when they come to Vegas, they consistently come through is Usher. That's probably, I love Usher. I just have to say that he is just so, he's so genuine, and every time he comes through, if he doesn't come to the restaurant, then he has his assistant call, and he comes and picks up lasagna. I mean, he even had me one time, I made a half a pan of, he had me make a pan of lasagna to take with him on his plane to go back to LA, so he could have, and he had his assistants freeze the pieces, and they were calling me like, okay, I gotta warm this lasagna up, how do I do it, because he wants a piece now. So he had like 9 pieces to take with them last time he was here. So Usher is one of our biggest supporters. Erykah Badu, we work with her. I've worked with Erykah though, like when I had Everlasting Life is when we started that relationship. And how she just kind of came back and we found each other here in Las Vegas. Is just, a lot of stuff is just energy and spirit and vibration. And it was kind of crazy how we were reintroduced here in Vegas. But anyway, whenever she comes through, she always calls, and she loves our enchiladas from the restaurant. And she likes a lot of raw. So I do a lot of more private stuff for her.
Mm-hmm.
Last time she came, she was on a strict raw diet. And so I did I had to pull out Everlasting Life was a raw restaurant. And so I had to pull out those recipes from back in the day. So who else? Jermaine Dupri. Every time he comes, Jermaine has been a very good supporter of us. Who else? Bill Clinton has come through, of course.
Yes.
Or former President Bill Clinton, who's also just super genuine and really is a big supporter of us and loves what does he like? He likes the nachos, I think it is, that he likes. And so we've just had, his wife, of course, Miss Hillary Clinton has come through. And we've had a lot of people. I don't want to sit here and sound like I'm name dropping.
Oh, we want you to name drop. We want
Maya, she actually came and I met her at a club, which was real random because, usually don't meet. I was there actually to support. She did a show at a place called Blue Martini here, and one of my friends was opening up, and he was like, "Hey, if you want to come through, if you want to come," I was like, "Yeah, I would love to see you. Can y'all hear me? Okay?"
Yeah. Who was that person again, Stacey?
Maya, are you all hearing me okay, or is it breaking up?
It broke up a little bit, but you said that you went to see someone at a show and you prepared food for them. Who was that person?
Maya.
Okay. Okay.
Maya, that's how I met her at a club. So it was super random, because you don't really meet celebrities at clubs and they end up, we were in the VIP section and I just, I knew she was vegan. So I did talk to her manager and I told her manager that we had a vegan restaurant. And then later on in the evening, maybe a few hours later, I was sitting by myself and she just came up and sat next to me and just started talking. And she was
nice.
like, hey, I think because I don't know why. I mean, it's just spirit because it was supposed to happen. That's why. And so we started conversing, and then she said, "Do you do breakfast?" I told her about the restaurant, and I said, "No." I said, "But we'll do breakfast for you." And she said, "Okay." So the next morning, she came 8:00, and she said, "I'll be there at 8 a.m." That girl was there at 8 a.m. for her breakfast. Yeah, so we did that, and she's come through another time after that. I think she doesn't come to Vegas that often, but she's yeah, I mean, you know, those are the people so far. If I think of somebody else, then I'll say we've had quite a few people.
Yes, and me, and whenever I come in town for a trade show, I bring a crew, and we have our lasagna and our nachos. So it's good to say I'm in good company with all these other entertainers. But look, I know why. Yeah. And I was going to say, I know why Maya was attracted to you, and it has to be because you're a Spelman woman. So I want to know.
There you go. There you go.
So how did the Spelman experience prepare you for all of the obstacles that you've had to overcome to be this chef serving this amazing audience that you're talking about?
You know, that is such a good question. And the thing is, Spelman instills in you, and I feel in like Black women, a sort of like a confidence that you just can't get any place else. Like you come out of Spelman, if you do it right and you have the, you know, the experience that you really want to have coming out of there, if you really like when you're there at Spelman, if you really just get into the culture, get into the school, get into the relationships, developing the relationships, it was a couple of things. One, it just being around all that super powerful, feminine, divine, you know, African American Black woman energy we got just gives you a confidence. You'll be like, look, I'm all of that, you know. Can we curse on this? Can we curse on this thing?
No.
Oh, we can't. Okay, because I was gonna curse. But okay. I still sometimes curse words fly out my mouth when I get excited. But anyway, we know that we the stuff, but y'all know what the stuff means, and so
yes.
When you come from like that stock, it instills in you that kind of confidence. I think that allows you to carry you through so many things. And then for me also, I think one of the biggest things Spelman gave me was the relationships. Like you all are my friends. So, you know, I've called Ashley before and been like, girl, like what the freak is going on? You know, you know, when you got a business and you got children and it's a whole thing. And so when you're able to develop relationships with other Black women that kind of understand what you have gone through and what you're going through, then there's nothing better than that. And then being able to, you know, have that conversation and have that connection, I don't think I would have gotten that from any other place except Spelman. So, you know, for me, it's all about the sisterhood and the relationships. That was like the biggest thing that kept me strong, kept me going. So, yeah.
Stace, what would you say to somebody who's on the fence and they're not sure if they should attend an HBCU like Spelman College or versus, you know, a PWI? What would you say? No curse words, Stace.
No curse word, no problem. I would say, you know, I don't think that HBCU is for everybody, you know, so I would tell people that if it's something, you know, you really have to just do what's best for you first. So if you feel like, you know, going to another school is something that's for you, then that's fine. But just make sure that whatever decision that you make, that you're making it based on what you want and what you're passionate about. So I tell people, if you really, really want to attend the HBCU and you're a Black woman, then Spelman is, I don't care what kind of GPA you have, I don't care whatever, you need to apply to Spelman, like first. And then, you know, I'm not, you know, poo-pooing, of course, on other schools, but I'm just saying, apply there if you really want to have that full, like, Black woman magic experience. You're only going to get it from there. There's no other place no other school on the planet like it. So,
Stacey, thank you so much for taking the time to sit down. I mean, you could just feel the excellence, right? When I think of Spelman, I think of excellence, and you
absolutely. And you want to be the part of the best, right? So the Spelman definitely has the best of the best. Yep.
That's right. So it is just such a pleasure to have you join us today for this interview. It's so inspiring. I mean, to go to Spelman and start with sociology, to go from there to entertainment, and to go from there to being a chef, I think that's amazing. And especially during this time, everybody's pivoting. You know, so there are people watching now that are saying, I don't like my job, or I have a passion. And I think you said a lot.
Right.
You know, when you pursue your passion, you have not stopped smiling since we started this interview. So thank you.
I know it's really, you know, thank you. No, during this time, you know, I know that it's really rough for people, but it's nothing I can do except stay super positive, you know, and I've always been like that. Ashley, of course you can, Andrea too, but Ashley being my freshman year roommate can definitely attest to the fact that you don't see me upset, you know, often for too long. I'm all about fun and the happiness and the feeling good, and no matter what's going on. You know, we have, like you said, we got to pivot, and you pivot to what makes you feel. You pivot toward what makes you feel the best. You pivot toward what fulfills you and makes you feel good. And don't let anybody else, including the government, tell you what you need to do.
Hey, I want to put Ashley on the hot seat.
You in your life.
I got to put Ashley on the hot seat, though, Stacey, because you've been saying it over and over. Now, Ashley was your freshman roommate. So, Ashley, you've seen her grow up. Both of you have seen each other grow up. So, Ashley, tell us one thing about Stacey that we wouldn't believe. You know, just something that would shock us, like she was a rapper or she was doing something. That, look, she had to take a drink. But just something that would shock us to say, wow, you are a chef now. Like maybe she couldn't even boil water in college. That's what I want to hear, that story.
That would be partially true. In college, I was not cooking. That was for sure.
You know what? Honestly, based on Stacey's energy, I'm pretty sure that anyone listening can believe that this young lady is capable of doing just about every and anything and is not afraid. Okay, so you know what? Stacey didn't mention the fact that she played for the Spelman Jaguars. She plays basketball. You know, she was a dance queen at school. She had many trophies. You know, no one could quite do the Tootsie Roll the way Stacey could. But
there it go. Let me think of Tootsie Roll. Hey, Tootsie Roll. I remember being up in the club on the stage, losing the Tootsie Roll contest to the girl with the big booty, because my booty wasn't big enough, but I danced her. But my booty, you gotta have Tootsie Roll. You gotta have a little junk, and I ain't got all of that. I ain't never had all of that. So I lost. I came in second place with the Tootsie Roll contest, but it's all good.
Stacey, you're number one in my book, girl. Always.
Yes.
Always.
And look, this interview is number one, right? This is amazing because these stories are what everybody needs to hear, that you had balance in college. You were having a good time. It sounds like you're a dancer, you're an athlete, and you are a celebrity chef. And we want to both thank you so much for spending this time with us today. And last question, though, where can everybody follow you and find you on social media?
Yes, definitely. So just for social media, it's at Simply Pure LV for the restaurant. I like people to follow the restaurant. If you want to follow me, it's fine, at Chef Stacey Dougan. But the restaurant, you know, is more the activity going on there. At Simply Pure LV all across the board. And the website is simplypurelv.com. And if I could say this, let me say one thing that we're doing here in the community in light of what's going on, because, you know, we're in Vegas. And so things here have been happening that, of course, are unprecedented. Everything's happening. This time that we're in has never been seen in the world. But here in Vegas, to have like every single casino shut down in the city and to see the number of lost, like the jobs that have been lost here has been just unbelievable. And so one of the things that we started, like in addition to the restaurant, we have a meal prep program that we started. So we were already doing weekly meal preps. We started doing weekly meal prep in January, but we were trying to figure out, like during this time, how we could give back to the Las Vegas community, since the homelessness population has skyrocketed here. And so we decided to do a buy one, gift one program. So every time someone purchases a meal from our meal prep program, then we donate a meal to a family or individual in need. And we have 2 community partners that we are working with who have identified the homeless population. And in addition to that, we have focused on families with children, specifically in the school system, because the schools are closed here. And a lot of the schools need, the children, they were depending on schools to eat. So we also give gift meals to the families who have children as well. So I always like to tell people about that, because they can also go and just donate, and we can give the meals to the people in need and donate any amount. You can gift a meal, like I said, if you don't live here. And that is on our website as well, simplypurelv.com. But we're definitely big on expanding that, because people want. I got a whole story behind. I took my son out too to feed the homeless the other day. He's 5, but I wanted him just kind of see, that you have to have empathy for everybody, and these are people too. Because as he gets older, he's going to be able to see there's a homeless population, and I want to let him know that they're real people. And we went and we gave out vegan, plant-based food, the same kind of food that we serve at the restaurant. We're not skimping. We still make everything from scratch. And it was interesting to see that a lot of the homeless population there, they were asking for fresh food. That we were asking if they wanted sandwiches or salads, and they wanted salads and fresh fruits and vegetables and things like that. So it's good to see everything changing. I think the energy is changing just worldwide, as far as even with what's happening with the virus. People just working on building their immune systems and knowing that exercise is important and eating right is important, and it's trickling in all parts of society that we wouldn't even think. Because I wouldn't think that homeless people would be wanting salads, but they were asking for salads and fresh fruit. So it's right up our alley. I'm like, oh, we want a salad? I can hook up a salad now. We getting ready to, do all kinds of different things. So it's exciting. It's exciting times. It's times. If choose, it's exciting for us because we're able to, of course, make an impact on our community, and of course change the lives and the eating habits, hopefully, and the health of some of the people who are often underserved and overlooked. So there we go.
Spoken like a true Spelman woman. We all chose Spelman. We made a choice to change the world, and you are doing it. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Stacey. You are awesome, girl. You always have been. You shine bright like a diamond, lady.
Well, I'm just a reflection of you all. I'm so serious. I really thank you all for your friendship. You all have been amazing pillars for all these years. Andrea, every time you come to Vegas, sister comes through. She comes through more than you, Ash. So that's why I said Andrea. But when you come, and when Ashley comes, she comes through. It's always a good thing. And I'm so thankful for you all. Really, I really appreciate you all's friendship and sisterhood.
Well, thank you for joining us. And I know everybody, when they come to Vegas, will check you out.
Yes, please do.